What's up, peers, and welcome to Bitcoin to the Max. What is consumption, and why do humans continuously use up things and consume them eventually? Why is that? Why is there this drive to always accumulate and eventually use? Well, essentially, what we humans do here on this planet is remove uneasiness, starting with uneasiness that affects ourselves. And of course, our body is an integral part of ourself, and we therefore need to make sure that it is sustained, that it is filled with nutrition. And in that way, we can prolong our life to continuously live in this delightful place and make it just ever so more delightful with every action. And therefore, for example, Alice, who has the ownership over the apple that she has homesteaded, she can, in order to sustain herself, consume the apple by eating it, thus satiating her hunger and removing the uneasiness of starvation. So consumption, in its initial sense, is to postpone death and to sustain yourself and, of course, your family, who also need to consume. Though then, after you have fulfilled these base needs, you now can climb deeper into your value scale and can therefore consume additional goods, maybe a second apple, which makes you completely no longer hungry, and a third apple, which will maybe be a little dessert. So the more that you consume, the less it is marginally worth. The first apple, which Alice did consume, was great for her because she now lived longer. The second, just a little treat on top. She is already living longer. Now it's just to have a good feeling to no longer be hungry. And the third one, and so on. So there's this marginal diminishing return for the utility and the removing of uneasiness by the consumption of one unit, one apple. However, Alice would also further like to have more to consume, not just today, in the here and now, but in the future. So what she can do after she has satiated her base needs, she can plan for the future. And planning is inherently saving, right? She needs to save the apples, essentially not consume them. She needs to postpone her satisfaction and her gratification by eating these apples, not today, but tomorrow, in an uncertain future, with lots of risks and uncertainty. And therefore, this postponing of consumption is something that is a thing that you have to give up. And sooner or later, the pressure of no longer holding back and being like, oh, I'm so hungry again. Now my time preference for achieving this good, for consuming this good right now has increased. So I really, really need to consume it right now. At that point, the saving period ends and the consumption happens in the here and now, in the moment. So therefore, we have to decide on how many resources we want to consume and how many we want to save for the uncertain future. And this fundamentally depends on your value scale and on your ability to plan ahead, to think for the future. And of course, to not just live for yourself, but also for your family and your local community, your peers on the network. And of course, for the second and third and fourth and fifth generation. If we can postpone our consumption, then we can transfer the satisfaction to other people as well. For example, by free exchange and voluntary interactions. Thank you, peers, for joining us here today again on the World Crypto Network for the show Bitcoin to the Max, which is sponsored by you, my peers, the patrons of the World Crypto Network, who are so gracious in supporting our endeavor of providing you with valuable information that you can use to maybe understand the subject of economics and Bitcoin and philosophy just a little bit more. So thank you for those supporting us by sharing and liking and commenting in the chat, but especially those who go to tallycoin.com/HillebrandMax and who go to patreon.com/WCN and who sign up for a monthly support of this network to continue providing worthwhile and hopefully useful content for you. Thank you very much, and see you on the next show.